Welcome to my Idaho cabin, where the elk and deer run free. Welcome to my Idaho cabin, hope you spend a little time with me.
Hi everybody, this is Rick. Welcome to my Idaho cabin. Hi everybody, and welcome back to my Idaho cabin. I know it's been a long time since I've put out a video, but I assure you I'm alive and well, and things are going pretty well. So, well, you all know that I live up in the mountains, but I don't live on a homestead. We're just too high to grow vegetables and stuff like that, or there aren't very many stores around here, and if they are, they're super expensive. So today what I'm going to do is take you into a little thing that I do to kind of help around the cabin here, and that's to make some sourdough bread. This is a discard sourdough. For those of you who don't know, when you're renewing your sourdough, if you get too much batter for your use, you have to pour it out or discard it. So one way that you can avoid that is when you're refreshing your sourdough, you can put it in the refrigerator and it'll stay good in there for 5 to 7 days, no problem. So that's what I'm doing. My starter is in the refrigerator right now, and I'm going to bring it out here, and we're going to make some sourdough discard sandwich bread. And I'll tell you, this is really, really good. And it's easy. And it takes less than a day. No more of this overnight stuff. It'll be ready this afternoon. And it's about 11 o'clock this morning. So I'll show you how it goes. The first thing we're going to have to do is make our starter. So we're going to kind of help the sourdough starter along by using active yeast. So we need about 4 teaspoons rather, of active yeast. So we'll put that in there. This is what I'm using. And then to feed the starter just a little bit, we're going to put about a teaspoon of sugar in there. And then we have some warm water that we're going to add. About that much, about 3/4 of a cup. And now we'll stir it up. Now we can let that sit for about 5 to 10 minutes and let it foam up, and I'll bring you back when it starts to foam and show you what that looks like. Okay, there's about 5 to 7 minutes, and you can tell that that is one very active yeast. So we'll put that in the stand mixer along with the rest of the ingredients, and we'll go from there. In case I didn't mention it, this makes 2 loaves. So, and the recipe I'll put down below is for 2 loaves. So if you only want one, just cut it in half. But I always make 2 so I can wrap one up and put it in the freezer and have one ready to go. All right, we're ready to go. In the bowl of the stand mixer, I put the activated yeast. I put 6 tablespoons of butter that has been softened, actually melted, 1.5 tablespoons of honey, the salt. Here's the sourdough starter. So you can see what that looks like. I'll go grab a spatula and get all of that good stuff in there. And then 1.5 cups of water, warm water, and 6 cups of all-purpose flour. All right, here's the 1.5 cups of warm water, and I use that to wash out the mixing bowl, or the mixing cup. And we'll turn that on low speed, and get it up here. And we will let that knead for about 12 minutes. So when it's done, I'll bring you back. Okay, the bread is all kneaded for about 12 minutes. So now I've got this little handy dandy little duster that I'll put on here. And we'll turn this bread out, or the dough out on the breadboard. And then it goes in a bowl for about an hour and a half or 2 hours to rise. That's the first rise. Got a nice warm place. Got the oven with the light turned on, and a little extra light in there for a little bit more heat, but that should take care of it. Okay. And I have the bowl right here, and we want to grease that. So we have our cooking spray. And then we just take the dough and plop it in and cover it, and we're ready to go. It'll go into the oven for without the heat on, just into a warm oven for about an hour and a half or so, until it at least doubles in size. So when that happens, I'll get right back to you. You know, every time I make a video, I try to give you a little hint, make things a little easier for you. So I'm going to have to prepare the bread pans, and to do that you need to oil them and put some flour on there, and then the dough will go in there. So here's the way I do it. You might find this helpful. Use a little spray, your kitchen no-stick spray, and spray the tins. Throw about a half a cup or so of flour in it, in one of them, and then shake it back and forth, and you shake it over this one and kind of just run it down the sides like that, run it like that, and down there, and there we go. Okay, and pour the rest in there, put them upside down, tap that one on the thing, and there's a perfectly floured bread pan. I don't know whether you can see that or not. There you go. That's a perfectly floured bread pan. Bread pan. Sorry about that. Freudian slip. Anyway, now we'll do the other. And we'll get this one all set. Okay. And now punch that one into the sink. And that one too. Again. And there's 2 bread pans ready to go. So, there's your tip du jour. Well, there's the dough, easily risen to at least twice the size. So I'm going to set this aside for just a second, and then using my handy dandy little shaker, we're going to put some flour on the board, because I need to cut this in half and shape a couple of loaves of bread. This is a handy dandy little tool. You can find these on Amazon. Look for a flour shaker, and you'll get a whole bunch of them. This is the plastic one that it comes in a with some pretty bad ratings, but I've not had any problem with this one. But there are 3 or 4 that are stainless steel. Look like they're really good stuff. So now I'll turn out the dough on the breadboard and cut it in half. So let's see. That kind of sort of looks like it's in half. All right, move this one over here to the side, and then we'll get a pan up here for measurement. So now I'm going to roll this up and pat it out into a rectangle. The reason I put the pan right here is so I know how wide to make it. So you want it to come this way, and usually when this comes out of the pan or the bowl, it works pretty well. But sometimes this, you know, as I've said in other videos, sometimes this dough can be unruly like a teenager. So you get it about the size like that, and then roll it up. Just like that. And then lift it up and put it in the pan. That's all there is to it. Now it goes back into the oven. Oh, this is going to be an ugly roll, I can tell that, an ugly loaf, but that's okay. We'll put it to the side and get the second one. A little bit more flour. And we'll get this one patted out. You want a nice rectangle so it comes out properly shaped. Okay, we'll roll it up. And you want to put them in the pans seam side down. Just kind of push them around in there until you get them about right. Okay, now here's another tip. The plastic wrap that I took off the big bowl when it was rising, lay that out there like this and hit it with a little bit of spray. And then put it spray side down over your bread. That way it won't stick to the bread when you take it, when you're ready to bake it. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. Okay. There we go. Now we'll put those in the oven where it's still nice and warm for another rise. Okay, we'll put these in the oven. Just like that. And let those sit in there for, probably 45 minutes. And 45 minutes to an hour. And they'll rise right up and be well shaped for the bread. So I'll bring you back when we get to that point. Okay, the bread is risen and we're ready to bake. So remember the spray that I put on the plastic around there? You'll see why right now. When you raise this off, it doesn't stick. Doesn't tear the crust of the bread or anything. Just comes right off. All right, now I'll take my little warming light out. Close this up. And from a cold start, we turn it at 375 degrees. I forgot to look. So 375. Okie doke. Now we'll let that go for about 30 minutes and we'll check them when when the time is up. Okay, time is up. Let's bring these babies out here and take a look. Oh yeah. That looks marvelous. So okay, there's the 2 loaves of bread. They are out of the pans, and I've taken their temperature, and it's right about 190, 192, somewhere in there, and that means that they are done. So I'm going to let those cool on a wire rack for probably 45 minutes to an hour, and might cut one and give it a little taste test when it's still warm. But before you really use them, you want to let them cool down. But they sure look good. Anyway, back to you in a minute. Okay, I lied. I wasn't going to wait a half hour or 45 minutes. I waited 15. And so now we will cut into the bread. Use a serrated knife. Oh man. Oh, is that ever pretty? And nice and tender. In fact, the butter just may be a little too hard. Let's find the softest one. Yeah, we'll try that. Maybe we'll. No, it's not breaking the bread. It's looking good. I have to admit to you, I made some of this a couple days ago, and I had tomato and basil soup, homemade, and I made cheese sandwiches, toasted cheese sandwiches in a panini press using this bread. So that's going to be in an upcoming video, but it was just super. Everybody just absolutely loved it. So look forward to a nice winter meal, homemade tomato soup, tomato and basil soup with sourdough toasted cheese sandwiches. So now for the taste test. Really good. And a nice sourdough taste. So this bread is probably going to be used for cheese sandwiches, toasted cheese sandwiches in a panini press with homemade tomato basil soup in the next couple of days. So anyway, to store this bread also, you know when you go to a supermarket and you get those your vegetables in a plastic bag? Take that plastic bag, put the bread in there, twist the end, and just tie a knot in it, and it'll keep fresh for 4 or 5 days, no problem whatsoever. And it won't develop that hard crust at the cut end. Put the crust end in first, and then tie it up, and it'll be fine. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm certainly going to enjoy the rest of this bread, but I'll see you next time. And maybe it'll be that tomato basil soup, maybe not, but I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to my Idaho cabin, where the elk and deer run free. Welcome to my Idaho cabin. Thanks for spending time with